Welcome to Self Reality, a show where we like to talk about reality, talk about our feelings about reality, and just shoot the shit about reality TV, I should say. I'm your host, Angie Hanlon. Before we get going, please like, share, and subscribe. I am here with, because we're talking about Survivor, and guess who's back to talk?
Hi, me.
Nick Hanlon is here. I'm so excited to have him back to have a conversation.
Ready to talk?
Sur-
What's the noise they make in Survivor? Run down. No, it's Law.
No, Law and Order. I like that, though. I like it. I like it a lot.
Survivor talk.
I could do that.
Survivor?
I used to do like Tuku time. Like I was trying like graphics and shit. So, oh, that's the best. So, is it this? Oh, I'm always thinking like the fire, the Venus. Anyway. So we're here to talk about Survivor. We just watched it. Super duper excited. An exciting episode. Before we get going, please go and check out both of Nick's podcasts. He has a podcast called the Dirty Glass Podcast, where him and like our brother rate drinks, super duper fun, hilarious hijinks, and something called Kayfabe Wrestling Talk, where Handsome Nick
Hanlon
shares
shares his opinion, which is always right.
That's right.
And if you disagree with it, you're probably wrong.
See, I already know. So go check those out, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Now, let's get to it.
Survivor time, party time, excellent.
And here we go. So,
Extra points in the comments if you can tell us what movie.
oh yeah, we didn't say it. I'm impressed, actually. Normally I would have said it. So,
It is the greatest movie of all time, better than Godfather and Citizen Kane. Go on.
Nick, fighting words. But I can't even argue because I love it so much.
Like I said, if you disagree, you're probably wrong.
Oh, Handsome Nick has joined the conversation. Handsome Nick
watched the Survivor. My twin brother Nick Hanlon, who's not handsome, we kicked him out the door. So let's talk about Survivor and opinions and how I'm probably right.
Okay, well, hopefully I agree with you.
Let's go.
All right, because I usually agree with your twin brother.
Yeah, he likes to placate though.
No, he doesn't.
I'm far more confrontational than him.
All right, so let's get to it. People want to hear about our Survivor. So Survivor episode 7. Oh shit, episode 9, season 47.
And we're getting into it.
Right into it. So aftermath from last week.
Last week, did you happen to mention the Andy curse continued? No money. I was sure you talked about the Survivor auction.
I did. Oh, yeah.
Or Andy sitting there like he didn't get anything on Christmas. I remember in public school, there was always a kid who couldn't find an egg on Easter. That's Andy.
It broke, and that was legitimately like an Easter egg. But like,
he passed by 17 of them. I know it's not the episode we're talking about, but the Andy curse continues on this episode, so I'm trying to.
No, and we're recapping. Like, we're kind of doing a quick recap because, they missed you last week.
Yeah.
They missed you. So, yeah, Andy, it was super sad. I will say I enjoyed the auction. It was a lot of fun. They've kind of changed it over the years.
I would have come by, but I had to do tech support for an elderly woman. Survivor starts. Okay.
So, yeah. I'm not used to handsome Nick Hanlon. I'm not used to...
Handsome Nick Hanlon.
You had disappeared because you were the evil twin.
Right.
Like Days of Our Lives.
Parents kept me in the attic.
Yeah, so you're kind of mean. Like, I'm used to, like, nice. I'm scared. Anyway, so aftermath. So who got voted out? Sierra got voted out, which is like, it's kind of a non-starter. I mean,
Sam was all.
Yeah, Sam was shocked. He had no idea. See, but that's where arrogance kills. Right, handsome Nick Hanlon? Arrogance kills.
Arrogance kills.
So you can be dead. You're going to get struck by lightning tonight.
We need more underminedness. Is that a word? We need underminingness. More undermining evilness.
Like underhandedness?
Being under.
Or do you want them to underhand?
Underhand.
That's what I said, underhanded.
That's what I meant.
So we have like Andy starting to become arrogant though, like in the aftermath, sort of like, mwahaha, like I orchestrated this again, and he kind of did, to his credit, but he better dial that back because his curse is going to curse him.
Yeah, and he went on a side where he's the bottom. Right? He's now the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
He everybody knows how to placate Mr. Ocean is like Mr. Andy Dufresne. No, that's different. That's a movie. But he's now on the bottom in whatever little group he's in. And, sure, he brought up this big plan. Like it was hard. They all wanted to vote one of them out anyway.
But he was also on the bottom on Gata.
Yeah, touche.
Okay.
It was true.
So he's starting to become arrogant. Then you have him talking to Rachel. So I found this kind of interesting. If we all do back, right? Go back to like episode 1. Andy on Gata wanted to work with Rachel. I actually think he had a little crushy crush on her.
Yeah.
And got super weird and wanted to like hang out in the middle of the night and like do yoga together.
Like wake up early and do yoga together.
Well, it's kind of how it was. And she backed off. And then that actually begun his complete and utter spiral, which he has recovered from to some degree.
Yeah. He's a lot less of a disaster yet.
I mean, I feel like it might start to brew now because he's getting a little too arrogant. And I don't think that's going to be a good look for him, but
no,
time will tell. So Sam, who was totally blindsided, Sierra was his number 1. He is playing this well.
Well,
he's not flipping out. He's acting like, yes, Lavo, I will work with you. That would be fantastic. And then he's like, I have a vendetta. I'm going to take them down.
Like, he was doing the old keep your friends close, but your enemies closer kind of thing. He didn't say that. Of course, I said it. But
it was implied.
It was relatively implied, yes.
So now he's going to work with Lavo, but I don't think he bears any sort of allegiance to them, right? It
doesn't seem like anybody bears allegiance to anybody.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? I don't like that.
It's cutthroat.
Well, you would like...
You're all just a number to me.
But it's like...
And that number is $1 million.
Oh, but let's talk. I think, the one person I do think would like to have an alliance is Teeny. But she is on the end or the backside of every goddamn vote.
She's the least strategic person I've ever seen. She's just clueless.
She's like, oh, my name's not coming out. I'll vote with you, and I'll vote with you. And oh my, I like him. Oh my God, he's my friend. And then she just goes with the vote and then turns on them anyway. So she really wouldn't be good at an alliance because she's just always going with the numbers. She's what in the history they used to call a floater.
She's likable though. She seems to be likable. People seem to like her. Nobody's brought her up to vote her at all.
I think that's because she does, like, she's very, like, she
looks like a child. She looks like Peter Pan.
Yeah. I mean, she's just very emotional. She's just a pure emotional player. And I thought Andy would be more emotional, but I think maybe Andy's emotional is more him trying to pretend like he's strategic or show them all. It's still emotional. It still almost has emotion to it. Am I wrong?
I think Teeny's used to be in the cool one in the group.
Yeah, well, and
now she's like the child.
Because she's not that. She's not strategic, so she has to be the child, and people have to tell her what to do. So then they get like tree mail or whatever, telling them it's going to be 5 teams of 2. So always fun when people have to pair off. 2 people, like, they have to vote together for the challenge. So the teams are Sam and Andy. Never pick Andy. The Andy curse. You got Kyle and Gabe, which if they have to kind of go against one another at the end, it's probably a good choice, but they don't know. Saul and Teeny, Sue and Jen, and then you got Caroline and Rachel. So how it works is, let me see if I can get this straight. First part of the challenge, which is them going through a tunnel.
There's 5 pairs of 2.
5 pairs of 2.
First part.
So the first part, they go under the tunnel. They all have to get like their puzzle, like their step puzzle pieces for a puzzle, like a staircase they're going to build at some point. They go through the sand. They got to pull them. They have to first get it out of that under tunnel thingy.
They got to climb through a really small cage to get one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just said it in different words. Then they got to go and dig it out of like a pit, right? Or sand pit.
And
the first 3 make it to the next round. And the first and the 2 that lose, all 4 lose their vote.
Right.
And then have to go on a journey to win back their votes. Right?
To try and win
their votes. So out of the first one, it was Kyle and Gabe, Saul and Teeny, Jen and Sue. So already at this point, Andy, What? Andy, what happened with
So
Andy?
Andy tries to rip the bag out of the ground, and he rips it. Well, Sam was helping, and they're like, "The bag ripped." Immediately, Jeff goes, "That's on you. That's on you guys."
That was funny.
Yeah.
Like, that was really friggin' funny.
Well, they didn't dig it out enough. They're trying to power it out. It's underneath all this sand. It's like sideways.
Yeah.
It's not like they buried it. It's not like they buried it like this. They kind of buried it like this. So they're trying to yank it out. The thing rips. And now they got to dig it out without having anything to even pull it out with because they didn't dig it out enough. They tried to use raw power. And that raw power was a little too powerful for the bag.
Well, because you got Sam, and it's stupid because you got Sam, one of like the physically strongest members of like the cast lab.
Well, even Brandon seems pretty. Brandon, is that his name?
Who's Brandon?
Andy. Sorry, Andy. Sorry, I talked to like 3 Brandons that didn't work. Andy
A lot of Brandons.
seems like a real. He's a thick boy. He seems He's They're probably the 2 strongest next to Saul.
Yeah, Saul is the strongest.
Saul's a heat man.
For sure. Now the next part, only 2. So the next part of the challenge, they have to put the steps up, right? Which is a puzzle. Climb the steps, and then they have to go across this balance beam, like whatever, like a jagged levels, and it looks really difficult. So the first 2 through this go to the final, and then the loser of this part, they just go back to camp. They don't lose a vote, but they don't win. So this one was actually a close call, and the winners are Kyle and Gabe, of course, and Teeny and Saul. Sue and Jen are out.
And the final 4 get a reward.
Yes, good.
So to recap, it starts with 5 pairs. Whoever wins the first part, bottom 2 are out. Goes to 3 pairs. And only 2 of those 3 pairs move on to the final round. And the 2 that made the final round automatically win reward, which is a picnic with bacon and
The LTs.
The LTs.
I wonder.
Did Kyle eat the bacon? I never know.
We didn't say. Maybe it was vegan bacon.
Bacon?
Vegan, yeah.
Bacon?
Bacon. No, that's what the dog treats are called.
The good Sex Pistols songs, Bacon. Anyway. Pretty Bacon, it's called.
So the last one is an endurance challenge, and it is a motherfucker. Like
so the 2 that are left all have to fight each other.
So yeah, we have Teeny, Saul, Gabe, and Kyle. And it's basically like a wood frame thing, like a wood frame box. It's not a full box, so because you can see them. And then there are footholds, like little tiny footholds.
There's a doorway.
A doorway is better description. There's footholds like that are getting smaller and smaller as you go down.
Dude, there's 4 levels.
Little tiny, for anyone anyone listening, like they're just tiny skinny
Angel
levels.
put a picture up.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually, I don't even know why I'm doing that because I will.
But there'll be 4 levels and they get thinner each time, right?
Yeah, so in each one, it's like you have to do 2 minutes on this one, and then 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. And it looks like Gabe immediately looks in pain.
Yeah, it looked like it hurt.
Gabe immediately looked in pain. He probably had the largest feet out of the group. Maybe Saul.
Between the 2.
So it ends up being like Teeny and Saul drop like right away after each other around the 3rd foothold. I think there's 4. And then it's between Gabe and Kyle. I totally thought Kyle was going to win, but oh shit. Gabe won. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I was surprised because he looked like he was out at the. I thought he was going to fall at the top.
Yeah, like he was in pain immediately. And the other problem, so as soon as Kyle lost, what did I say?
Oh, vote Kyle.
Yeah.
Well, he's winning all the challenges.
He had won 3 challenges in a row, like all 3 of the first unit.
Farm boy, dear Lord.
I know, he's a tough mofo. And I'm like, well, I know to go back to the other one because we haven't talked about it. Like he ate the chicken.
Yeah.
I was like, that's smart. I have you gotta
eat.
You gotta live. Anyway, so they win. And now they take them to the reward, and I'm like, I think I was feeding the cats or something, but it's like all I could hear is a symphony of belching. It's like the olden days when it was Dad and you and Dennis and Poodle and like Peg was over. Like it was just
Saul's a champion belcher.
I mean,
well, a guy to drink with.
Well, he would, and he's fun. He seems like a fun drunk. So you have just the men belching. Poor Teeny's like, Jesus, but they're all enjoying their nice sandwiches, and I think Gabe hadn't had any rewards.
Yeah, he's just moaning. I love bacon.
Well, then he was. I did hear him say like, I almost got faint. Like I almost passed out.
He said he was hallucinating.
Well, if you haven't eaten, like all you've had is like coconuts and like.
He was so happy he was hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand. I've been that hungry.
I've not been that hungry for 2 weeks.
No, for 2 weeks, but I've been hungry enough where it's just like, this is the greatest. Like,
I have, where it's like a crappy, I don't know, like back in the olden days, like crap dinners. I'm like, this is the best. You throw a slice of cheese on it. That's the best.
Wait, what are you, real stoned?
Oh, yeah, those were the good old days. Fuck. So they win, and I think the name, whose name? Oh, they all bring up Sam's name. Of course, Kyle's there.
well, because they were talking about Sam last week.
Yeah. So like, oh, easy peasy breezy. We're going to do Sam. This is one thing I didn't like about what Saul said. Because I thought he was more strategic. He's like, well, they're saying Sam's name. I'll go along with it. I don't care. And I'm like, Saul, I thought you had a little more strategicness in you.
Well, with Sue and what's her name back at the ones that are alone. Like
Sue and Jen.
Sue and Jen. I mean, Sue wanted to talk Kyle, but Jen's immediately like, let's get Saul out. And Sue was a little nervous because Saul was mentioning Gabe's name, she said. And Gabe is her number one. Her game's destroyed if Gabe's gone, right? So she's like, well, I guess I got to take out Saul. That changed her mind that quickly.
Yeah, Sue's...
Flake.
I was going to say she's not strategic either.
Flake. Oh, no, she's not at all. She's also I mean, people seem to respect her because of her 45-year-old elderly age. Nobody's buying that shit, Sue.
Sue, you are not 4 years younger than me, lady. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not Nick's age. Sorry.
Come on, dude.
Sue's not super strategic. She's still holding a grudge against Kyle from
Like episode 2.
Episode 2. Even though, again, I don't understand not voting out Kyle. And we're going to talk about the whole chaos of this. But his name, it does end up getting thrown out, but like as a distraction, I think, more than anything. So let's talk about that journey. What a cool reward.
Yeah, the challenge was cool.
I
win your
loved
vote.
it.
So the 4 had to take a journey to win their vote back.
Yeah.
And it was a very simple game, which was a very interesting game. Where, I mean, you want to...
Well, Nick even said it's like Jenga, and at first I thought it was more like a house of cards. So essentially you have all these little metal cards that are like thicker than a card though, right? Because they have...
they're
like little metal plate, like, I'm not a plate.
What did you drink on? They're like the coaster thing.
Like, yes.
But they were
Excellent.
They were shaped like a domino.
Yes. And you had to basically stack like one at a time. So all 4 of them stood around. You had to put one down. Yeah, that's totally the right word. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, like a house.
1 piece each.
Which, so Nick goes, it's like Jenga. And at first I thought they were doing it individually and just building like a house of cards. But when I saw 1 piece each, and whoever knocks it over loses.
Yeah, whoever, it doesn't matter how high it is, last one that falls over, you're done.
And there were a couple times like Rachel, when she had that sort of bent over, like it was intense. I'll put it.
Even Sam did one where it kind of wobbled, he caught it. It was cool. It was a good, simple.
I like the simplicity. I like that it was quick. I like that it didn't take us 2 of us to try and explain it. I think it was, well, we did actually.
I mean, the challenge was a lot. Well, the challenge was 3 steps with a reward and an immunity.
And people leaving, and yeah, it was.
Themes that it was against each other was a lot.
That's the most complicated. Okay.
It was a good challenge. I mean, I didn't mind.
I actually liked the challenge itself, but I mean, it was the most complicated. It's actually.
You talk for 3 seconds, you miss a step.
That's the most complicated challenge I've ever seen.
It was pretty complicated. It was, yeah.
Right? Especially with, anyway. So.
It was 3 challenges in one.
Yeah.
Was what it was.
So then, in the end, Caroline loses. She knocks it over, which is going to play into our vote, or like the discussion of votes that we're going to come back. So she loses her vote. So we have Sue and Jen sitting there. They've been talking for probably 2 hours, voting out Saul. And then, no, you're right, though. The 4 who won the reward come back before the journey of folks, the Jengas, the reverse Jengas. And Saul's immediately like, okay, it's Saul. We're going to, or Sam.
Or no, it's Sam.
We're going to vote Sam. We're going to vote Sam. Now, totally, like, Sue and Jen agreed way too quickly.
Yeah, and Jen's trying to do this complex plan. And she's like, I'm going to take out Saul. And she's pulling people aside. And
yes. So wants to blindside him. So she basically, what Sue says, because, like, they're, Sue and Gabe.
seem evil, but
But she's smart. I would say, is the most strategic person.
She's petty. I only say that because she says.
She said she's petty. I don't think she's petty, though. She's just...
In this game, I'm very petty, she says.
Well, she's holding something. I don't even remember what Saul did to her, but she's holding something against something.
Never named it.
Oh, and maybe, yeah, something again. But that is when you play emotionally. That's how Sue is. Like, Sue's been holding a grudge against Kyle, like you said, since episode 2. It's ridiculous. You got to kind of put that shit aside. You got to compartmentalize the sword. But anyway, Jen wants to blindside, so she talks to... So Sue says, fine, because I want to get him out sooner rather than later anyway, but you got to talk to Gabe. Gabe's on board. She, like, her whole heart argument. It's a solid argument. She wants to get rid of subtle threats because he is strong. He's done well. He's likable. Jen goes to Kyle. He also agrees. So it's like, oh, I'm like, this is going to be boring. Well.
The shit hit the fan. Who goes Sam?
Rachel.
Yeah, Sam talked kind of, didn't he guess what was happening?
So
Rachel was just like, mm-hmm.
Right. So Rachel is brought in because they need a 5th person. They don't have the 5th. They don't want Sam. And they've lied to Teeny.
Yeah.
Teeny's so close to Saul. Like, it's so complicated. This is such a complicated one.
We are.
So Jen lies to Teeny, says it's Sam or Kyle. Teeny's like, okay, cool. And she's clueless. She doesn't pick up the vibe. She doesn't figure it out until... So they do tell Andy.
Well, she picks up the vibe because didn't Sam immediately went and told Saul, and then Saul told Teeny, and then Teeny started telling everybody, including the person that created the plan.
I know, because they're both Lavo.
And then, of course, somebody's like, I don't understand how the numbers are, because only the people that are the numbers are talking to, and they don't realize it.
Well, and that's how Teeny's not picking up the vibe.
Save Saul mode.
I know. I was like, let's talk about the whole Sam. That was crazy. So Rachel does tell Sam, because I think Rachel doesn't want to vote for Saul because he saved her last week or 2 weeks ago. And she's like, you're not going to tell anyone, right? And Sam's like, oh, no, not at all. And then he immediately just creates one of the most chaotic camp I've ever seen.
Well, I wonder if he's burnt her bridge now.
The thing with Rachel to me is she's pretty strategic. If it behooves her to work with him, she's going to work with him. I would, but you can't trust anybody except Teeny, unless you're with Teeny. Jen totally burned the bridge with Teeny. So yeah, he tells Saul. So now they're like going around telling everybody. Friggin' Teeny brings in Jen, and we're like, Jesus Christ, she started, you're right. Though she didn't even clue in when. It's like, well, the numbers aren't numbering. The math's not mathing. And so then it's like, well, let's vote Sue. And I didn't think that was a good idea. So chaos. Everyone's running around, blah, blah, blah. Sue, let's vote Saul. What's going on? I find it interesting that Saul's name stops kind of being mentioned. And that made me suspicious.
Suddenly.
Yeah. And then they start throwing Kyle's name, and there doesn't seem to be a real reason for it, to be honest.
And they're like, Kyle. And then people are like, is it Sue? Is it Kyle? Is it Saul?
That was a mistake. They should have stuck. If it was going to be Sue, you stick with Sue, because I think that was the death of the whole thing. Although I think what they didn't show in the cut is the fact that it was probably always Saul.
Yeah, I mean, they cut it nicely. If it was always Saul, I mean, I didn't know it was getting voted out.
I wrote 3 names down. I said, it's Kyle, Saul, or Sue. Who's it going to be?
I mean, even when they got to Tribal.
Well,
it
now
was chaos.
But I think it's because they kept the secret of it being Saul. Like, because you'll notice the calmest ones were like Gabe was sitting calmly, not getting up.
But even Teeny voted Saul.
I know.
That's why I was surprised by that. She didn't know what was going on. She was like, is it Sue or is it Saul?
I think she just went along with...
Maybe at the end somebody's like, it's Saul.
It was probably Jen, right?
Yeah.
Jen, who she trusted. But chaotic, right? So immediately, who was talking? Kyle's talking, and then they're already like, Saul's saying, is it Sue? It's Sue. It's Sue. Like, they're all just talking behind each other.
Well, it seems like, who are we voting for? Who is it? Who is it now? The chick? Gabe didn't know what was going on. Kyle's trying to talk. He's like, what the hell? He's like, I wish I was in the middle of these conversations. And then Saul hops up and starts getting in the middle of them.
But this is why...
Didn't help him, but...
No, it didn't. But that's why I almost feel like it was already foregone conclusion. It was Saul.
I think so.
I really just think it was Saul because Kyle didn't get up, right? And Gabe didn't get up. And they were the ones laying in the hammocks back at camp. They were pretty, it was almost
Laxity daisy.
so it's chaos. They're running around. Jeff's even like, look at everyone. I can't hear other people. Andy does some soliloquy. I don't know what he was talking about. And in the end, clean sweep. It was Saul. He was, I have to say, he was very gracious. I think he was a good sport. But,
As soon as I like somebody, they vote him out. I
know.
guess I gotta stop saying I like Sam. And I haven't seen that in a while, though, so he's stuck around.
He's still there.
Sam's gonna be the new heel.
Good for him. Well, Andy's trying.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's like, remember like the last episode or two, he was like flipping his hair. I can
take my hair down and take my glasses off, just like that movie. What movie would it be? Oh, any 80s movie where the girl's ugly but she's hot.
Oh,
take the glasses off, and now my hair's out, and now I'm the real me. No,
it doesn't work.
No, he's actually worse. Put the glasses back on. It's worse.
Oh yeah, right, because he has glasses. So
Paper face, that mofo.
He still does. He's just like, I think he's still emotional. I think he's still excited to be part of everything.
He's like a Muppet.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, I'm a Muppet.
It's exciting. We're gonna do this now. So what do you think of that episode, Nick? Well, like out of 5, what would you rate it? Rate it.
One of the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 4, 2.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good score. And I mean, it was exciting. I didn't know who was going home.
I think I like the last one better. Last one might have been a 4 or 5.
Oh,
I'd say this is a 4.
You didn't like the last one.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No.
No, I enjoyed it.
Who was that? Who got voted out? That was Sierra.
It's the Survivor auction.
I like the auction. Like, I really enjoyed the auction, so I gave it a decent score, like a 3. I think I gave it a 3.8 or something.
And a blind guide.
But, like, I know, but it was boring. I found it boring. I found it a little slow. This one was exciting. We had strategy. We had no strategy. We had complete and utter chaos. We had people getting up at tribal. I'm a 4-3 on this one. I think this is my favorite episode this season.
Yeah, 4-2.
And you're a 4-2.
Good one. I enjoyed it. The last few I've enjoyed. So
yeah, great episode. Things are picking up, and all of this chaos, this talk about this being the most chaotic cast, I now agree.
Well, there's no such thing as alliances anymore. They don't even mention alliance.
They don't do alliances. Don't you remember the last few seasons? They're like, well, we are voting blocks. Voting blocks. It's voting blocks. And it's like, I get that. But
it is way more cutthroat.
But yeah, there's no, the word is alliance. There's no allegiance.
I do like the cutthroatness.
Yeah, well, you are a heel, right?
No. I mean, it's a Becky Hamlin. I'm no heel. Just because I'm right.
That's a heel.
Just because I'm right.
Okay. So anyway.
I mean, everybody's trying for blindsides.
And they are succeeding.
It's almost like a blindside's now the normal thing. Before, you'd have 2-3 blindsides a season.
Now it's like every episode.
Yeah.
Because has there been a non-blind? I don't even think there's not been a blindside. Rome shouldn't have been a blindside. He should have known.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, he should have known. So.
Yeah, okay. He was
very into himself. So
his head was in the clouds a bit.
That was an excellent episode. Again, like, subscribe, Kayfabe Wrestling Talk, and
Nick Hamlet.
If you like this content, like and subscribe here. Like, let us know what you think.
Share it.
Share
it with your friends that watch Survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe share it.
Are you saying that to me? I haven't shared it.
It's not good.
I know.
Make sure you share it. If you know somebody that likes Survivor and reality TV, you probably want to hear people talk about those things, and that's what happens here.
And like, build a community. I want to build a community where we can all talk and have fun talking about like reality TV shows. I just think it's fun and what we think of it. And I like to sometimes look at like, why do I think that? Why don't I like that person? Right. So
you got Trekkies. Well, we want to get realies going. Okay.
Oh yeah, I like it. So thank you for watching.
No, the real ones.
The real really?
The realies.
The real.
It's working. It's work in progress.
Okay.
Well, the group. What's the group going to be called? Is it realies or the real ones? Real ones is pretty good.
Real ones is good.
Real ones really sounds stupid. Yeah.
For realsies?
Okay, let's get the real. Oh, the for realsies.
That's pretty good. For realsies?
Work in progress.
All of this is a work in progress, even like the start and the finish. But thank you.
Live long and prosper. Because I said Trekkies earlier.
I know, but I was like trying to do it right.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm old. So
Cramping.
again, like, subscribe, share, do all the good things for realsies, for surezies, real ones. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you're at the end, I really thank you.
Yeah, realsies sounds like Swifties. Realsies.
Okay. Realsies. All right. Bye, everybody. Till next time.
Bye.